Linchpin by Seth Godin. I'm not going to talk too much about it except to say I'm going to buy 3 copies of this and mail it to the people, to 3 of the people I care about the most, because I believe in what it says. Mostly, bottom line is this: Seth Godin is saying that we are all artists and that we are all geniuses. We all have the capacity, because genius is every time we come up with a solution or an idea or to a problem that no one else has had. And we've all done that in our lives, and we can. But we were educated out of that because the education system teaches us that we need to obey, because there are only certain ways to get certain feelings. We want to be happy, we want to feel proud, we want to feel accomplished. And the way we've been presented in our life, I'm paraphrasing from both books here, and from my own experience, the way we've been presented in our life, or what we've been presented in our life, is there are only certain ways to gain those feelings of pride, of accomplishment, of happiness, and usually they're connected to financial success. We've been taught that even whatever our art is, and Godin argues that art is anything that can bring value to other people and have meaning for other people. He argues that we always seem to feel like we have to find a way to monetize our art for it to be really worth anything. Otherwise, it needs to be a hobby, not a career, and not a life. And his argument is that no, the new economy, and Sharma talks about this so much as well, the new economy and the new world will reward people who bring value to other people. Concentrate on figuring out what your art is, spread it to as many people as possible. If you become indispensable, if you become extraordinary, they both say the same thing. If you act in a way, regardless of where you are in an organization, what kind of title you have, what kind of compensation you have, if you act in a way that improves the lives of the people around you, brings your organization up, and makes you indispensable, you will be successful in this world. You will. The paradigms of you have to work, it's time and loyalty that's rewarded and not impact. That's shifting rapidly, and we need to embrace that, and so do the people who are currently running the organizations. And I found that such an eye-opening idea, because I'm speaking to business students this weekend, and I know that what they're doing is they're like, let's go to school and find out what the world values, and then we will learn that so we can offer it to the world. What Godin and Sharma are both saying is that, no, figure out what you can best bring to the world and make yourself extraordinary at that, and then find who in the world wants it. Don't change yourself for what the world values. Figure out what you have that somebody out there will get better as a result of you offering them, and develop that. Don't go to school to figure out what other people value so you can give it to them. Figure out what you have to offer, and then offer it again and again and again. And one of the things that opened my eyes to this is that I've been realizing I was judging my new career. I knew I'm way happier, and there's so much more freedom. I feel so much more fulfilled. There are times when I just want to sit back and take deep breaths and think about how beautiful the world is right now. It's extraordinary. And yet I realize that even with that, my mind wouldn't allow me to say that my new career was better, or that it was the right decision, unless I could have those things and made as much money as I was at U of T. I couldn't get it over myself, and there are other people out there who are like, we will assess whether Drew made the right call on whether or not he could make as much as he made at U of T. And if he didn't, and if I didn't, then somehow it was a mistake to do it. And I come to realize now that given the way my life is now, the opportunities I've been given, the things I get to do every day, how every hour of my day gets spent, if I wasn't making anything, it's still the right decision. But we have come to realize that we need to assess value, or we start to feel that we need to assess value in our lives by how well we're producing what the former paradigm out there of the business world wants. Can we monetize what our art is? And if we can't, well, then we better just make it a hobby. And reading this book's made me realize that you can't. Godin basically said, if you have something of value, give it away. You will never not be successful if you can genuinely offer something of value to people. If you can make people's lives better, if you can make people feel more empowered, you will always be successful. Long run, for sure. And so it made me realize that what I've been doing since I left is trying to figure out, I have this art, or at least I realize now reading Linchpin that I've been blessed for me to find an opportunity to share what I feel is my art. But I was attaching a price tag to it, saying, I will share it with everyone who will take it, who can afford a certain price tag. And that's because there's a fairness element to things. You need to say, if one person is going to pay this, then another person should as well. But I think here's the deal. If one person will pay something, it's probably because they can afford that. So what I think I've decided to do is, at least for public high schools, the ones who most consistently said to me, we would love to engage with what you do, but we cannot afford it. At least for them, I'm going to simply take every invitation I can for whatever people can afford. And if it's nothing, then we'll find a way to make it work. And I have college and university and corporate clients who, I mean no disrespect to it, and I hope I don't lose any of you, but I'm going to be upfront about it. When it comes to public high schools, if you will invite me, I will come, and you can pay what you can, because every day that I sit at home, where I could be speaking somewhere, and the only reason I'm not is that somebody couldn't meet a price tag, I'm giving up an opportunity to matter, to make an impact, and we can't do that with our lives. And so I'm going to try that. And if it goes well, I will do it for everyone. And I believe that there will be people who will say, oh my gosh, well, we have this much in the budget, but we will lowball it. And that's fine. I will live with that, because I bet there are more people who say, Drew Dudley comes and speaks for whatever you can honestly afford. And I believe, I respect that, and so I will honestly tell him what we can afford. And I'm sure there will be people who are annoyed at that. I'm sure there will be people who think it's crazy, both of them. I'm going to try it, because reading this book made me realize, if you truly care about what you do, and if you truly believe that it brings value, give it to everyone who will listen, for whatever it takes for them to listen. Don't put caveats on, you only get it if you can afford it, because that will make you more valuable to the world, and that will bring success, not just financial, but all kinds. And that's an incredible message, and I'm going to try it. Some people will think I'm nuts, some people will be insulted, some people will be pissed that they once paid me, and now I'm telling them that they could have just told me what they could afford. I've changed my way of looking at the world. I mean no disrespect to people in the past as a result. But if you want me to come and speak, and you're willing to make time for me, I will come and do it if it doesn't do damage to me and the company overall, but I don't think it will. I'll find a way to share it, and I think in the long run that will always pay off. So these two books, Linchpin, The Leader Who Had No Title. Check it out. Next up, I'm going to try Here Comes Everybody by Clay Shirky. I'll let you know maybe in a week or so how that turned out. If you have books, send them along to me. Last thing I'm going to tell you is that sometimes I honestly feel sometimes as if I'm missing something, like another shoe is going to drop, because life is really good. And I'm missing something, and there's going to be like a big block fall on my head. And then every now and then when I start feeling like that, something out there reminds me that no, things really are this good. And last night as I got back to Toronto, as I came to the Yonge subway station, the busiest one in Toronto, I heard this music, and I was like, that sounds like my favorite song in the world, but done in a way I never really heard before. And sure enough, there was a guy sitting there with a guitar in the Yonge subway station, as they often will be, playing my favorite song. So I stopped, missed a subway, dropped some money in his bin, and recorded it, because I was just like, these are the cool little moments that remind you that happiness comes in a lot of places. So I saved the recording for you. Watch if you like. Peace, guys. you.